All right. Um, After that, what you'll be doing is laying up a document, a single document with at least 10 of the same business card that you could go ahead and print, so that you'd print one sheet, you'd end up with 10 business cards. So when you go to print business cards, you print 10 sheets, you cut them up, you have 100 business cards. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is I recommend that you create a new document. And with that document, business cards are 3.5 by 2. So my width is going to be 3.5 by 2. And I'm going to turn off my margins. Okay. Actually, I'll leave them here to show you a common mistake. But I would turn them to 0. Now, if you take a look at my business card, all right, oftentimes what I get is people design within this purple. The purple is your margins because you did not turn your margins off. So when you come to me with a business card that looks like this and has all your images and criteria falling within this, it's because you have not yet turned off your margins. So keep that in mind, that this is not your designable area. This is the margins, that when you go to your preview mode, this is what your business card actually looks like right now, is the entire area. So I recommend turning your margins off. That way they don't get in the way of you understanding where information can fall. When you go to lay out all of your business cards, like I said earlier, we're going to lay out 10 of them on a sheet and then cut them. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind, that if you have color falling all the way to the edge of the business card, it's fine, but text that's right on the edge, if you're off cutting by a 32nd of an inch, which is possible, you're going to end up with cut marks and lines that may end up going through your text. Hopefully it's not crooked, all right? But you get the idea that if you go to cut and you cut a little crooked, one business card will have the top of the text, the other business card will have the bottom of the text, all right? So I always recommend keeping text in from the edge of the business card a solid 1/8 of an inch, all right? If you're not sure what an 1/8 of an inch looks like, you have your rulers here, and you can go ahead and slide that down to at least the first notch, okay? Once again, that is just a recommendation. It's not required. You can, bring it right to the edge if you feel the need to. All right. Now, what you're going to do is lay out your full business card. All right. So let's say that I decide to place that lawn mower image in there. We'll go ahead and grab that lawn mower image. Or let's just take Baskin Robbins since we have it up. So we'll get this image saved to desktop. I can write down my URL, which is right here where the image was obtained from. All right. And I'm back in here. I'm going to place my image into my frame. So to place it, we can either use File Place or Command D for place. I'll look to the desktop and I'll place my Baskin Robbins image if I can find it. Nope. We'll just place this as our image, just because I can't find the Baskin Robbins right now. All right. So we'll place our Baskin Robbins logo. We'll scale it to fit by either fitting the content proportionally or however you want to do it. All right, so let's call this, maybe we do machining services, because that's what we're doing here. All right, started my business card. Maybe you get some other content that's required, all right, which you'll see on there. And my title would be, oops, overset text. We'll get that fixed. I'm going to size this down because it's probably too large and doesn't need to be that big. All right. So obviously you're going to spend a lot more time and you're going to have a lot more thought involved in their business card than I just did there. All right. But at any rate, let's say you're happy with your business card, you're finished with it. All right. What we can do is, what I would recommend is creating a new document. And on this document, I'm going to have it 8.5 by 11 with no margins. Actually, we'll set 1/4 inch margins. Now, if we take a look at this, what you could either do at this point, you have a couple options. You could drag rulers from your, or drag guidelines from your rulers, and to do that, I'm going to click on my ruler and drag down, and you'll see it brings a guideline as well as a measurement. So if my business card's 3.5 by 2, I could drop this first one at 2.25 because this is a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch plus my 2 inches gives me 2.25. Now if I come over here and select this all by windowing everything, text, images, everything, it selects everything. I could object group, which would arrange this in a group so that they stay as one entity. Right now, if I click and drag, it can move my text in separate from my photograph. If I window this object group, now when I move it, it's one entity. All right. So what I could do is edit, copy that, bring it over to my other document, edit, paste, and get that placed, this whole piece, placed in my first little slot here. I can also bring guidelines this way, and if we're starting at 1/4, I want to be at 3 3/4. There's one business card. I could come in this way, drop my other line. All right, and when we look at preview, there's one business card. My guidelines show me that business card. Okay, now to get this separated, we need to object ungroup, which will ungroup the whole thing, and I can go ahead and move these around. The reason I show you that is your requirements for your business cards are to have 10 different designs. All right, it can be wrapped around the same concept. So if my concept is machine servicing or machine services LLC, I could take all this content, edit, copy, edit, paste, take all this content, move it down here. Remember, I ungrouped it, and at this point, I can try different scenarios. All right, maybe I want my number here. I like my name and title up top here. Machine services, I'm going to bring it over my image, and I'm going to make it nice and large here. All right, we'll get it centered on, that's too big, we'll get it centered on the business card. And what I'll do is turn the opacity or the transparency of my image down. So I'm going to click on my image, and I'm going to say object, effects, transparency. We'll turn our machining image down on the transparency, if this ever comes up. All right. And then machine services will bring to the front. Bring to front so it really stands out. All right. So now what I've just done is given myself 2 separate images that I can work with. All right. When we're done, in other words, when you come up with a design that's finalized and I okay it, you okay it, you're happy with it, what we'll do is we'll group it again. And what we're going to use is a step and repeat concept. The step and repeat concept is basically where we take one and we repeat it in a series of orders. So edit, step, and repeat will allow me, ask me how many I'm creating. So I'm going to create 2. My vertical offset is going to be 0. My horizontal offset is going to be, oh, we just want 1 then, sorry. My horizontal offset is going to be the 3 3/4 plus the additional room for cutting. So maybe I go to 4.5, 4.25. You can see underneath what that has done is just stepped it this way. I'd hit OK. And then what I could do is step and repeat these two. Oh, I don't want to take my... other business cards, so we'll go this way. Or edit, step and repeat. And our horizontal offset is going to be 0. We would step this up to 5. And our vertical offset would become at least 2 1/8. This machine is dogging, that's why it looks like that. But you can see what it's doing is copying multiple of these and stepping them down. So it's not like you have to edit, copy, edit, paste, and line them all up. It's just a matter of getting the numbers right of how far you want to step and repeat all these concepts. So there's 2 1/4. When this snaps out, you should see it went ahead and placed all these appropriately. All right. So what I could now do is when I go to my preview mode, I would print one of these and then slice these up and have my individual business cards. All right. When we think about business cards are going to represent us as an individual. All right. So you have to keep in mind that different companies are going to have different takes on business cards. If you're a lawyer's office, you're probably going to have a very conservative business card. Something straightforward like this, saying we're very conservative, we play everything by the rules, we play everything to a T, and your business card will represent that. If you're selling fruity ice cream, you're probably not going to have black and white business cards like Baskin-Robbins. You would expect them to have very colorful business cards, pictures of ice cream, possibly different flavors listed. There's a whole slew of options that take place. But whatever fictitious business that you're creating, you have to represent that business through your business card. All right. Machining services is very precise and very accurate. And with that said, I'm probably going to have a very conservative business card. My business card is probably going to represent the company in a sense that everything we do is accurate, precise, and to a T. Okay? So keep that in mind as you're starting to think about, starting to brainstorm on your business cards. That needs to be represented as well, not just the information.